John Collier was the Commissioner of Indian Affairs from 1933 to 1945 during the FDR administration. He was viewed as too sympathetic and too close to a people viewed as a population in decline. He came to understand who and what Native people were and what we had to offer in a world already on a path of destruction. He wrote,
"They have what the world has lost. They have it now. What the world has lost, the world must have again, lest it die. Not many years are left to have or have not." To recapture the lost ingredient. This is not merely a passing reference to World War III or the atomic bomb, although the reference includes these ways of death too. These deaths will mean the end if they come. Racial death, self-inflicted, because we have lost the way and the power to live is dead. What in our human world is this power to live? It is the ancient lost reverence and passion for human personality, joined with the ancient lost reverence and passion for the earth and its web of life. This invisible reverence and passion is what the American Indian almost universally had, and representative groups of them have still. They had and still have this power for living, which our modern world has lost, as worldview and self-view, as tradition and institution.
At the turn of the 15th century, Europeans discovered and explored a new world, new to them anyways. And as they built their colonies and took more and more land from the existing population, they brought all the same habits and behaviors with them. They came obsessed with greed, prejudice, and power. As talks turned to traveling to truly distant worlds and creating settlements in places like Mars, Europa, even the moon, man faces a huge challenge. Can there be the necessary shift in the human behavior paradigm to realistically even consider such endeavors? Entering our world, these travelers did not find a hostile or empty lands. They found a people not consumed with the same character of Europeans. They found a bountiful world teeming with life and life-supporting resources. Their immediate thoughts went to the wealth laid before them and how rich these new lands could make them. Slavery was already taking its toll on the west coast of Africa, and Columbus's thoughts turned to the people they encountered. He wrote back to Spain,
"They would make fine servants. Should your majesties command it, all the inhabitants could be taken away to Castile, or made slaves on the island. With 50 men we could subjugate them all, and make them do whatever we want."
Greed, racism, and hierarchies are not efficient. Inequities are the antithesis of efficiency. No, to go to a new world where almost nothing exists to support human life, an entirely different philosophy must exist. Equity would not just be some aspirational concept, it would be necessary. All heads would have to be held at the same level, with all hands working together. This is not an unheard of concept or a dream. It existed. No, it wasn't on a hostile world, but it was what the Haudenosaunee evolved to in a plentiful world where man created the hostility. With a reverence for life, concepts of equity were woven into the circle wampum in the Guyana Ragoa, the Great Law, and a passion for living was the foundation of 7 generations philosophy. Beyond do no harm, thinking of 7 generations was a commitment to consider the future generations beyond those we would see or know. But equity is not just a concept that must be considered in the worst or harshest of time, or in the harshest of environments. For if it is right then, how could it not be right always? A colony established in an environment not suited for man would take the best of everyone to succeed. Every individual and unique talent would have to be nurtured and developed for the benefit of all. Many view the world in a state of decline in spite of all the technological and scientific advancements. Certainly this new world has run well past its sustainable growth and shows clear signs of decline. But as Collier suggested, representative groups of us still have it, the long hope. Perhaps it is fear of the end that creates the opportunity to pull the curtain back on the reverence and passion for living. We have it and remain willing to share. Native people have never completely dismissed the humanity of others, even as ours has been dismissed and denied. Our long hope is and always has been to be a free and independent people, but not hidden or isolated. But hope has no value if it is not realized through action. Living with dignity compels us to fight the racist doctrines and policies of the United States, and to do so by rejecting them and explaining and revealing those worst characteristics that seem to die so hard. We reject the Christian nationalist view that codified the doctrine of Christian discovery into U.S. law, even as the papal origins of it have been renounced and repudiated. Our lands did not become yours because you laid your Christian eyes upon them. Your self-proclaimed extravagant pretension did not convert your discovery into conquest. We are not the spoils of your conquest fantasy. We reject being held down as wards of federal trusteeship. We never signed up for such a thing, nor agreed to be held in a perpetual state of incompetence under federal guardianship. There is no trust, neither as a virtue, nor as some twisted legal arrangement between us. There is no trust doctrine. There is just unpaid debt and obligation. And most of all, the absurd notion that your Congress should have the power to terminate, exterminate, or prohibit our freedoms is just absurd. Your plenary powers doctrine is a lie. These legal doctrines are not legal. They are evil and have made genocide an integral part of U.S. history and your national character. Any rational human being can see these devices of domination violate every principle of fairness and equity known to man, as well as the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. We are not alone here. You are. The third affirmation from the preamble of the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, adopted by the UN General Assembly on September 13, 2007, states, affirming further that all doctrines, policies, and practices based on or advocating superiority of peoples or individuals on a basis of national origin or racial, religious, ethnic, or cultural differences are racist, scientifically false, legally invalid, morally condemnable, and socially unjust. Dozens of articles from the UN drift show willful rejection by the U.S. of the worldview and position, including Article 43. The rights recognized herein constitute a minimum standard for the survival, dignity, and well-being of the indigenous peoples of the world. As long as the racist legal doctrines of John Marshall remain as their part of their set of law in the policies of the United States, it will blatantly fail to meet the minimum standards, and so too will the rest of the world for not acknowledging a calling out of this failure. We will not rest until these false claims and doctrines are stripped from your laws, policies, and the lips of those professing them.